Alright guys, so welcome to the new series I'm doing where I pretty much just analyze the data for the market for the day. Um, I'm going to be trying to do this every single day that I can. I honestly do this in my own personal time, but I thought it'd be cool just to show these videos off just to so you guys can understand the market a little bit better. Um, will I do this every day? Probably not, but if I get a chance, I'd love to show it to you guys. So, the main point of these videos is to show that to show you other cards that are being invested into, pretty much the cards that are being bought for that day. I try not to focus that much on Watsy and Charizard just because I feel like you know that they're good investments. You know they're good. You know, you know they're safe. You know they're things that people want. They're getting into the hobby. But I kind of want to show you guys more interesting things and things that I've seen in the hobby that would make sense and things to always keep your eyes out for. Anyway, let's get started here with Misty's Tears. So funny enough, this card right here isn't really that rare, you could say. But what makes this card very important is that it's banned. A lot of you guys know the story. This card was never came to English because they didn't think it was good for children, good for kids. But this is something I like about this card is that it has a story. You know, it's not. You can't get this card in English. It's only in Japanese. And I feel like cards that always have a good story, usually have a good value, something that's pretty much smart to invest in. As you can see, this card sold today for $940. It's funny enough about this card. I remember being a kid at a card shop and seeing it, and I was like, yo, what is that? And I asked my parents to buy it for me. They're like, no way we're spending, I don't know, 20 bucks on this card. Well, it's worth a lot more than 20 bucks right now. I can tell you that much. Um, Let me know if you guys can hear me pretty good. I'm still working on all of this, trying to get it really good for you guys. Another thing that's interesting that I saw tonight was the vending series. Um, Vending series is pretty old, actually. It's pretty cool. You can see I have two examples here that sold today, or technically yesterday. It's 252 right now. Um, Vending series is like old school cards. It has the original. Has Lapras on here. We have Zapdos on here. Pretty dope. Gotta love those cards, right? Um, but for those who don't know about the vending series, I actually pulled it up right here. Like I said, it's always good to have a story for something you're trying to invest into. And long story short, unlike the regular cards, where a player would receive a number of cards from a booster pack, these cards were only obtained on a randomized sheet from a vending machine from which cards were peeled. Like, are you kidding me? So I've also heard these cards are actually really hard to grade. So getting something like this in the tin would actually, I could say, would be pretty rare. So I think it's interesting to have something like this. You have the original cards, you have your Lapras, you have your Moltres, cards that are hard to grade. And honestly, for these prices, I think they're going pretty cheap. Even this one for $3.99, which is insane. Then there's very something very some it's something very interesting to look into. Is what I'm trying to say. Um, On to the next one for tonight. So here's the interesting card right here. You can ask anyone. Modern, it's risky to invest into. It's not something I try to invest into myself. Not I think the artwork's great, but it's just it can go up and down so quick. There's so much of it, and a lot of it will be high quality because people are sleeving these things up, and yeah, there could be a lot of it. But if you do decide to invest in modern, I think these rainbow cards would be your best bet. And the proofs in the data right here. It's sold for $4.99. I mean, you gotta love this card. It has Snorlax, it has Eevee on it, tag team. The rainbow cards are very good because they're the top of the chase cards for modern for the most part. They're harder to pull. Um, Also, a lot of people sleep on Japanese cards, and I see nothing wrong with Japanese cards whatsoever. This one still sold for $4.99. Like I said, if you're going to go modern, Rainbow's where it's at. I feel like you get the most value out of that. Um, yeah. Funny enough, hold on, let me see real quick. This is interesting. You can buy right now for 174. But this item was bought at 499. Interesting, guys. Interesting. And it doesn't seem like it was a fake sell because this person has pretty good ratings. Honestly, looks like someone didn't do the research and they could have bought for 174. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Let's go on to the next one. This one just popped up actually. I was surprised by this a lot. Okay. We talked about modern. Modern, it's risky, something you don't really want to touch that much. We don't know what can happen in modern. Anything can happen in modern. But what makes these so cool, and I want to talk about this as well. Here's these two cards actually. These cards just came out. They just came out. Let's start with Lugia for a second, and we'll build our way up. This card just came out, and it's selling for $1,200. Okay, let me tell you what this card has going for it, which is a lot. High grade PSA 10, perfect. Lugia. Lugia is the new Charizard. I still think Greninja is as well. I think Greninja cards will blow up soon, maybe a little bit later. But I feel like Lugia has the same effect as Charizard. Being anything with that Pokemon on the card, they usually sell pretty good. But here's what makes this card so interesting. As we all know, Pokemon said they're done doing the staff cards. This is the last card we'll see with the staff stamp, probably for a long time. Maybe they'll bring it back in the future. We don't know. But having all that for Lugia PSA 10 staff card on it, it makes this card very valuable at $1,200, and this card's brand new, man. So, and the reason I brought this up, I try to explain this to people. This is good for buyers and sellers, either or. Putting something in a set, a mini lot, you could say, helps out the value of the card so much. Because it's like, I want that. That's a complete staff set. It's a mini set. And I want that, so it makes people want to buy it. It's the seller. Also helps you charge a little bit more than you normally could. And then you get all four of the staff cards. You get the Charizard. I don't like talking about Charizard that much, but when it applies to something like this, it's important. You get the Snorlax, you get the Donphan, you get the Lugia. And these cards are brand new modern. And it's sold for $5,000. That's insane. That's honestly insane. I don't even think the guy actually has the cards yet. They're still getting. Well, no, he does. That's just crazy to me. Wow. But yeah, like I said, Lugia's got that effect, man. Lugia has that effect. Gem Man Pokemon, he's pretty big actually. Heck yeah, good for him, man. Oh, here's another lot or a mini set or whatever you want to call these things. Oh, what I was going to say beforehand, if you submit cards to get graded, try to submit cards that can be put like this, that you can sell together, that would increase their value together. It's a great thing to have a seller, and like I said, as a buyer, I want this. I want the complete set. I didn't have to work for it. I just had to pay for it. Oh man, it's beautiful. Modern as well. Like I said, modern can be good. You just gotta make sure you're making the right investment. And all of these shinings, you've got shinings, they're legendaries. You got the Lugia. People love Lugia, Mew. I think the Shining Gen 6 one's the best because it changes up the color. Ho-Oh's pretty good. Volcanio, whatever his name is, looks amazing. Arceus looks amazing. Um, and this Mewtwo GX tube I've been seeing has been selling like crazy. All of these together, man. Like I said, if you're looking to sell something, if you're looking to invest in something, make sure you can make it a completion of some sort. Always good to have. I think I have another one. This one's pretty good. Like, it's Watsy, so that helps out. Machop's cool, Machoke's cool, Machamp's dope, that's all cool. But together, PSA 10, who wouldn't want to buy this? Who wouldn't want to have that mini completion in their home? Makes it beautiful to display. I will say though about this, I noticed later on, this guy has 0 feedback. So this could be fake, it couldn't be real. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. But I looked through it. It looked pretty real to me. But even if it's not real, it's still a good example of having that lot. Having cards at the same evolution lines. And you can probably charge a little bit more for that too. Which I think is great. Something great to invest in. Okay. Now we're getting the cards that it's the main reason I do this every night and to study the market is finding these weird cards that like no one talks about that still sell for a great price. $390 for this random melodic. I think melodic's great, don't get me wrong, but I feel like no one's talking about this. Something that's interesting I pulled up is you'll see these EX cards that are from the EX series. EX Unseen Forces, EX Hidden Legends. So PokeRef talks about this a lot, that these cards, these sets, these boxes, that they come from, this is when Pokemon was kind of on the downhill, to say. And no one was talking about it, no one really cared about it, which kind of gives these cards that kind of rarity, going back. They have a story. No one cared about these cards at that time. Anyway, but it's cool to see that something like this is going for $390. I pulled up the pot report on this one because it's only 20. Only 20 graded in PSA 10. I think pot report is valuable, especially in the 10s where you can see. But yeah, it's so interesting that, I feel like no one talks about this card. I haven't heard about it, I've never seen it. But it's still sold for $390. These niche cards like this, I feel like they're very, very smart to hold on to invest in, do your research. Like this right here, see what's selling, and hold on to it and see what happens. 20 in the world, PSA 10. It's pretty rare, And I feel like this isn't something that's just gonna jump up. I feel like no one had a melodic EX and Legends just sitting around. This is something that you could see going up. I don't think it'll go up super quick, but it'll be steady. I wanted to show the pot report actually on this as well. Interesting enough, in October, during the peak, it actually went up insane. It was at 350 at point. It shot up to 600, which is normal, we know. So I feel like you got a good price on this, honestly, for $390. Let's bring up the other ones. So we have Ho, like we said, legendary Pokemon. They usually do well, especially Lugia. Look at that. I've never seen a Lugia before. Super interesting. His psychic form or psychic card type. Sold for 600. This one as well sold for 353. Cards I feel like no one's talking about. And don't get it wrong, no one's talking about it doesn't mean it's a bad investment. It doesn't mean it's a bad card to have. I actually think it's the opposite. Having something niche like this that's not on the market. I mean, like for this card, I was looking for it. Yeah, there's PSA versions, but none of them's tens. So like, this thing's it's pretty rare. Like I said, I don't think a lot of these will pop up back on the market because no one cared for these cards as much. I think people will start to care about them when they see the prices going up, and things like, oh, I didn't know about these cards. These cards are cool, and that's the point of me doing this is showing these cards that no one's really talking about or they have something interesting besides them. Because I'm sure you guys get tired of hearing about Watsky and Charizard. I know I do. Let's go on to the next one. Let me tell you something. So, 3 things I love to invest in: trophy cards, Japanese promos, and silk product. Let's focus on the Japanese cards right now. The Japanese promos, man. Most of the time, if there's not an English equivalent, if there's not an English version of the card, I think it's something that is very valuable to have. Because you kind of have to work to get this card. You have to get this card from Japan. You know what I'm saying? Have to get this card graded. Graded at a 10. It's rare. You're not going to see this card at your local game store. Maybe you will, but I don't think it's a high possibility. This card right here, though, like look at the artwork. That is so. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. If I had the money, I'd buy it. It's man. It has Pikachu on it. It has that going for it. It's a Japanese promo, which means not a lot of people will have it. PSA 10. Japanese always grades well. Always grades well. You have the Ultra Beast on there. Zekrom. Like, that's insane, man. I would love to have this card. Japanese promos, I'm telling you, they usually do really, really well. And this card's not even that old either. That's funny. We're talking about modern, and a lot of these cards are modern that are doing pretty dang well. Like, but honestly, be careful though. Be careful with modern. It can go up and down really, really quick unless it has something going for it. Here's something that's fun to talk about. I'll be honest, I don't know that much about these type of cards, but it's something I'm learning about every day. I'm trying to do my research. And by these type of cards, I mean autograph cards. So let's talk about this card for a second. Charmander, like this card isn't anything special, right? It's just a Charmander. Charmander's dope. He is a starter, has that going for him. It's just a normal Charmander, man, a common. And it's Delta species. I love Delta species. I feel like no one else does. But anyway, so this card is signed by the creator of the card and everything. And like I said, it's a normal card, but by just having that autograph, it's sold for $930. I honestly don't know how to get these cards not graded, but signed. Maybe you had to go to a certain convention for the artist to sign it. I don't know how that's going to happen in the future with COVID and everything. But these cards, something I definitely want to add to my personal collection. That autograph can add so much value to just such a unvaluable card to say. But like I said, look, it has the autograph on it. It's Charmander. It's graded well. It's encased. Sold for $930. Honestly, I bet you could get this card for like a quarter on Troll and Toad. Honestly, I think you could. But by having that autograph, it has that piece of history with it. Has that story, which is dope, which what people will love. Collectors love. Everyone loves it, right? Everyone loves signed items, just like at sports. And so this is something I would definitely invest into. Trying to find a good deal on autograph cards. Might actually look to get something like this in the future. All my money's tied up right now, so I'll bring a video showing you guys what I'm buying right now soon. We'll see how these videos do. I'm gonna do these videos anyway. I don't care if they get a lot of likes, a lot of views. I find this stuff super interesting. Ooh, here's something. Kyogre EX play promo. So, I don't know if you guys know what play promos are per se, but long story short, in Japan, it was included in the limited edition starter kit, which could only be obtained by those in Pokemon Players Club. So pretty much these play promos, you would have to go to these tournaments on the weekend or weekdays and get all these points. And a certain amount of points, you were giving certain cards. Pretty much. Long story short. So technically, I could be wrong right here, but anyone who knows this can correct me. This would be considered a trophy card. And it does have an English equivalent, which kind of hurts it a little bit. But at the same time, it's Kyogre. Like I said, legendary, has a great story behind it. And it's actually interesting too. It has a low pop. Love low pop cards. 34 in the world. Cool thing I looked about this card too, guys. You gotta look at this. I know it's bad to look. It's not bad to look at the past, but it can hurt sometimes. This card sold for $36 in 2016. It just sold for $4.99. Man, it's so intriguing to see a jump like that. And I think this one was a 10 as well in 2019, a year ago, on PWCC, and only sold for $27. That's why I'm always scared to trade my tin, to try to flip or sell my tins. Nothing wrong with flipping, by the way. I think if you flip and invest that money back into Pokemon, you can help things grow quicker. But that being said, trying to sell tins, flip tins, they scare me, man. It's just so much can happen in a year, and that value can go up so much. But yeah, $4.99. Wow, great story, by the way. The play promos, if you ever get a chance, look them up. Super intriguing. And it's an EX card as well. EX are going up. Rhymestyle talks about this a lot. Prime cards, level X, EX. I think he's talking about them too much because they're starting to go up in price. And I think this next one's actually an EX as well. Umbreon EX, interesting. What I thought was interesting about this card, a PSA 8. A PSA 8 sold for $4.50. For the most part, I try to invest in the PSA 10s. Some cards, there's a exception, but it all depends. But this is interesting. This card sold for that much, and a PSA 8. But like we talked about earlier, it was in that era where no one really cared about those cards, whatever, and kind of has that piece of history behind it. Also, something we talk about, or we can talk about, is popular Pokemon. This is an Umbreon, the evolution of Eevee. These guys sell like hotcakes, man. Like, people love these things, man. People love the Eevee line. Love it. And so, even though this is an 8, even though it has that holding it back, it has that little piece of history, but no one really cared about it, so this card's kind of rare. Kind of. It's not like a trophy or anything, but like it's something that like you won't see a lot. That's why I brought it up. And another reason I brought it up is shows that evolutions really do carry their weight in the market. $4.50, not bad at all. Actually didn't really see this card that much, but it's pretty cool. On to the next one. Dude, this card right here, I know what this was. This is why I do this. I don't know what the heck this card is right here. I know what it is now. I did my research. But look at this, dude. This is crazy to me. It's a Trico starter. Everyone loves starters. I love Ruby and Sapphire. Love that era. A lot of good fun. Had a lot of fun times in the games. This is a Kits WB Poke Card Creator promo. Yeah, I had no idea what this was, but it sold for $799. Also, it was sold by eBirdman, and he's really big in the hobby. Um, so I know this was real. So I did my research and I looked it up, bro. Let's look at this right now. I've seen this Pikachu before. Yeah, I've seen this Pikachu. I haven't seen any of these other guys. So let's read it here. The Poke Card Creator Contest was a contest held by Kids WB in 2014. Applicants aged between 5 and 15 were invited to create an image of one of the 5 pre-selected Pokemon and submitted to Kids WB between February 16th and April 10th, 2004. Pokemon USA designed 5 new cards using the winning illustrations. A total of 5,250 Pokecard creator packs were distributed in July 2004. 50 packs to each of the 5 grand prize winners and 1 pack to 5,000 first prize winners. The grand prize winners also won a $500 Target gift card. Dude, forget the gift card. Look at this, dude. Are you kidding me? This is so cool. Going back to that history, had a limited run. These cards are rare, okay? It's such a weird illustration. Like, look at that, dude. But it has that history. It has that art. I don't know if you'll ever see anything like this. Pull it up again. There's another one bidding right now for 50. That's a PSA 8. Which I would say cards like this. Some of you might disagree, but cards like this, I don't think the PSA score matters. They're so rare. They have so much inside history. Like the PSA 10 helps, but I don't think a low score hurts. If that makes sense. Something I'd look into, man. Maybe some of you guys can bid on this one and see maybe that's where it's at. This is a crazy part of history, man. That's insane. That's so cool to me. A kid's WB card. Yeah. Something intriguing. We got our last 2 for tonight. I don't want to keep you guys too long. If you're still watching now, that's what I'm talking about. Let's make these last 2 pretty quick, though. Rayquaza. Legendaries, like I said, legendaries do pretty well. Deathless Species. I love Deathless Species, man. It's over $5.99. I'm not the biggest fan of this artwork, but Rayquaza, he always does his thing. I feel like you could find his card. I don't know. It is one of the EX era cards. So, but I think you could look around and find this card for pretty good. Go over a pretty good amount. $4.99. Oh, it's for $5.99. I think one just listed for $4.99 as well. See, this is what is intriguing about eBay. You can see a card sell for a certain amount, but you also see people keep it posted under, which makes me think like, are they not paying attention to the market? This has to be the same card. I feel like it is. I could be wrong. Let's just check real quick. That's a reverse, so maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong. So you gotta. Yeah, that's a hollow. See, I'm wrong. No, I don't think I am wrong. This guy also has 2 reviews, so be careful. Actually, never mind. Let's leave this alone. Anyway, $5.99. Card did great, man. Card did great. It's in that weird spot between vintage and modern, but I think it's something to look into. I think my last one for the night. I love bringing up sealed product. Big fan of it. I love it. The reason I love this stuff so much is sealed product, you don't have to do anything to make it work for you. All your cards, you have to make sure they're in good condition. Send them off to PSA, CGC, Beckett, wherever. Get them graded. Hopefully it's a really good grade. And then all that can take months for you to work, for everything to align and work out really good. Which there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just comparing it to Silk product at the moment. And Silk product, you you buy it and you hold on to it. You forget about it. This guy probably bought this for $5. I don't know, maybe 10. Who knows? And he's selling right now for $5.50. I love Silk product. If you guys ever get a chance, it's more on the Magic side. I don't know that much about Magic, but I love Alpha Investments, and he loves Silk product. He's like, yo, this is where it's at. This is where it's at. It's so easy. Does it grow as fast as a ungraded card to a graded card? No, it doesn't grow that fast. But I've seen Silk product, like, if it does go down, it's not that much. But yeah, EX Team Rocket 6 set. I love EX Team Rocket. Love it so much. So just to have a pack of that would be pretty cool. So yeah, guys, that's it for tonight. I actually really enjoy doing this. I do it, like I said, I do it in my own personal time. I love looking at the market. I love seeing what's selling. I feel like that's the most important thing. What's sold today? What's selling this week? What's selling this month? What's selling this year? What do people care about? What are people taking their hard-earned money, and what are they spending it on? Gives you an idea on what to invest into. Just so you're not investing in something random that will never sell. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, find something that you really like. Find something you can that has a good um, potential for investments. Have fun with the hobby. Love Pokemon. Do your thing. And yeah, probably see you guys same time tomorrow. All right. Thanks.